Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samastajana Kalyane Nirutam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Dhyananandamayam Devam
चरण सरोज सांद्र नीलाम्बुदाभं जघन निहित पाणिं मण्डनं मण्डनानां तरुण तुलसीमाला कन्धरं कञ्जनेत्रं सदय धवलहासं विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि
Krista 616. And now about desirelessness. This means the sense that my wife, my son, and my body is the sense of possession, and there is pride also. This becomes totally false. O king, that is desirelessness. 617. Thus, in the mind of the devotee, when there is a real faith, these three things come into being, three in one. 618. Therefore, O king, devotion to Hari is essential for our own emancipation. Kavi Vishesh said this finally. Ma'am, you have to say shloka.
Can somebody chant that verse? My mobile is, I've just lost that verse.
Try.
Ji.
इत्यच्युताङ्घ्रिं भजतोऽनुवृत्त्या भक्तिर्विरक्तिर्भगवत्प्रबोधः भवन्ति वै भागवतस्य राजन् ततः परां शान्तिमुपैति साक्षात्.
Meaning of the verse, O king, in this way, when he devotes himself to God Achyuta, he develops a devotion, dislike about worldly things, and the realization of God. And then he achieves the actual peace beyond everything, the supreme peace. 619. Thus, those who have love towards all the beings in the world attain the devotion to God, dislike for possessing all worldly objects, and also have attainment of unity with God without any hardship. 620. O king, the devotion to God is a good kind of eye solution. The good devotee puts it in his eyes, and by the yoga of devotion possesses the rare treasure of the God's presence. 621. By loving God as one with own Atman, we get extreme peace of the soul, and false things drop away, and devotees gain the bliss of the Brahman in the state of their unity with God. 622. Blessed are the God's devotees. They are functioning among their senses, but are apathetic about their sense objects. They are in the body, but their consciousness is beyond the body, and they live in freedom by the power of their devotion to Hari. 623. In the fever of devotion, they have no desire for liberation. Even then, all the four kinds of freedom are lying at their feet. 624. This peculiarity of the devotee of God is beyond comparison. They are already on the highest level of Paramatman by their one-pointed devotion to the Supreme Person. 625. The king Janaka was pleasantly surprised when he heard about the supremely one-pointed devotion and the realization of the God by the devotees. 626. He uttered appreciatory expressions about the devotion and prostrated before Kavi, the sage. He could not control his emotions and sobbed out of joy. His eyes were full of tears and he shivered by his romantic devotional feelings. 627. He sweated, his body began trembling, became still for some time, but came to consciousness after a while, because he feared that the sage may suddenly leave the royal Yajna Mandap, etc. 628. When he opened his eyes, he saw that all were seated as before and was reassured in his mind. 629. He began to sway his body in joy and then thought, let me ask here about the signs of those who have attained the self-realization.
राजोवाच अथ भागवतं ब्रूत यद्धर्मो यादृशो नृणाम् यथाचरति यद्ब्रूते यैर्लिङ्गैर्भगवत्प्रियः. Padmaji, can you move closer to the mic? Your voice is still lower.
What shall I do?
Come little closer to the mic because the volume is low.
Meaning of the verse, the king said, please tell me what is the nature and behavior of the real Bhagavata, who is the dear to the God and how he acts, how and what he speaks, and what are his special characteristics among the people. The king was happy to learn that it is easy for a devotee to attain the realization of God, so he began asking about the sons and special qualities of such devotees. 631. The king Janaka asked, how do the devotees who have reached the final experience of the God conduct their life in the public? O sirs, O great sages, please tell me all the recognizing signs and make my ears satisfied by hearing these particulars. 632. The signs of good devotion are sort of ornaments. By putting those ornaments on my ears, let them be decorated. I feel that if I listen to these signs carefully, I will also be dear to the God. 633. What is their nature? What is their behavior and activity? By holding in their heart the Supreme God, how do they conduct their affairs? How do they talk? 634. In what condition and in what manner these devotees are liked by Sri Hari? O Master, whatever may be the numbers of these signs, you may please tell me all. 635. All the sages liked very much these questions of the king, and their younger brother of Kavi by name Hari came forward to give answers.
हरिरुवाच सर्वभूतेषु यः पश्येत् भगवद्भावमात्मनः भूतानि भगवत्यात्मनि एष भागवतोत्तमः.
Meaning of the verse, Hari said, one who sees God in all the beings and all the beings in God as well within himself is the best Bhagavata. 36. Hari said to the God, O king, there are so many types of devotees. Some live naked, some follow the rules of their ashram and conduct their affairs according to the system laid down. 637. Some remain lazily reclining or sleeping, and some behave like madmen. Some continuously sing and dance, and some observe complete silence. 638. Some shout loudly the name of Hari, some drop all their activities, some have pity on all the beings and carry on charity at all times. Some sing in praise of God, always with full devotion. 639. Thus, there are various manners in which these devotees live, and they cannot be counted. So, I am going to tell you the most important types. 640. To look to God as occupying every being is the first requirement of God realization. This is the glory of devotion. To convey this principle, the sage Hari began to talk. 641. I am of the nature of God. I am filling all the creatures. All the creatures are within me. I am the Atman in all the creatures, and I am also the Paramatman. 642. This is all comprehensive, I consciousness, which increases the realization that one is Atman and not the limited, ephemeral body, which amounts to having no pride at all. I shall tell you further about this pure state. Please listen. 641. Sorry, 643. The main sign of the pure minded devotee is that he first conceives himself as only the spirit, called Pratyagatman, which is witness to the three states: visualized, waking, dreaming, and sound sleeping state. And he even considers himself beyond this lower step and is convinced that 644 God is in all the beings, and all beings are living and having their existence within the God. If he feels that he is the Paramatman in all the beings, there is no ego in thinking like that. 645. He who conceives God as all pervading and all beings within God, and not only this, he who experiences all this mutual existence within his consciousness in all the three states, becomes that which is self, which is Brahman. 646. He is the greatest among the devotees. He is the most respectable Bhagavata, and he is the honored and considered as an incarnation of God. 647. He is the number one among the yogis. He is the crown jewel among the men of knowledge, and he is also the greatest of masters of wisdom. So says the yogi Hari. 648. The particles of ghee are not separate from ghee. Similarly, all the five elements, as well as the physical bodies of all creatures, everything is not separate from Paramatman. 649. O King, you should understand that such is the nature of the best devotees of God. Now, what is the method of devotion of devotees of mediocre level? That is also please hear from me.
ईश्वरे तदधीनेषु बालिशेषु द्विषत्सु च प्रेममैत्रिकृपोपेक्षा यः करोति स मध्यमः.
Meaning of the verse: one who loves God is a friend to God's devotees, blesses children, and neglects enemies, is a devotee of the mediocre level. 650. This devotee considers God as the supreme, other devotees of God as equal, considers ignorant as lowly, and those who hate God, he considers them as sinners and discards them. 651. He has pure love for God, friendship with other devotees, good wishes for ignorant, and has lack of attention towards those who hate God. 652. This is the attitude of devotees of mediocre level. O King, this you should understand. Now I will tell you about the mindset of ordinary devotees.
अर्चयामेव हरये पूजाय श्रद्धये हते न तद्भक्तेषु चान्येषु स भक्तः प्राकृतः स्मृतः.
Meaning of the verse: one who desires to worship only God in the ritualistic system with faith but has no respect towards other devotees and other people is called as ordinary devotee. 653. Then there is another ordinary devotee who considers the image only as God but has no respect for other devotees or saints at all. 654. Who respects ordinary people? They are not thus respected by him even in dream. This is devotion of ordinary narrow-minded people. 655. The devotee who is in such an ignorant mental condition is called Prakrit or ordinary devotee. He thinks that the God is dead if the image is broken. 656. Thus I have told you about the three kinds of devotees, but the nature and the signs of the best devotees are extraordinary. I am very eager to tell you about them.
गृहीत्वापीन्द्रियैस्थान्यः न द्वेष्टि न हृष्यति विष्णोर्मायामिदं पश्यत् स वै भागवतोत्तमः.
Meaning of the verse: he is the best Bhagavata who though his senses give him all the objects related to them, does not hate them nor is pleased by them, as he sees this world as the power of Maya of the Lord Vishnu. 657. The best devotees are those who have no pain or pleasure in their hearts, though their senses receive the objects respectively related to them, and looks at the objects as illusory. 658. If a man bathes in mirage, he remains dry as before. Similarly, those who receive the sensations of various objects through their sense organs remain aloof and not disturbed, which means that they are not enjoyers of objects, are really the best devotees of God. 659. Ordinary persons misunderstand that even the best devotee enjoys the sense objects, but they do not know that such devotees are having no interest in awareness of objects. They are receiving the impacts of senses and not accepting these. Both are meaningless and illusory. 660. If in a dream a person eats a banana which is sweet and then he desires to eat that again when he is awake, he cannot have it nor eat it. Similarly, contact with the sense objects are illusory in the case of devotees of God. 661. People ask, if the awareness of the objects is so imaginary and false, why do the devotees touch these objects? The answer is that the destiny earmarked for this life period is so unavoidable that their contact with the objects is also unavoidable. It compels them to receive the objects. 662. They have, however, no notion that they are the enjoyers of the pleasures, etc. Even in their dream, that is why should understand that it is such a devotee who shall be called the best. 663. So the greatest devotees have their state of mind while being surrounded by the objects of senses. Now there is still deeper state of mind about which I shall presently tell you. Please listen.
देहेन्द्रियप्राणमनोधियायः जन्माप्ययक्षुद्भयतर्षकृच्छ्रैः संसारधर्मैरविमुह्यमानः स्मृत्या हरेर्भागवतप्रधानः.
Meaning of the verse: one who, being always engrossed in the memory of Lord Hari, is not moved or disturbed by the vikaras, such as birth, death, hunger, fear, thirst, lack of food, etc., caused by the worldly life. Through his body, sense organs, life force, mind, and intellect is called the great devotee. That is Bhagavata 664. There are 5 factors connected with us, causing bondage. They are the body, the organs, and the mind, the intellect, and the vitality or the life force. Then hunger, thirst, fear, pain, birth, and death are also the disturbances. 655. There are great sufferings attendant to these things. This is called the way of life, samsar dharma. But the God as Atman, Atmaram, is always pleased and kind with his devotees. And therefore, the confusion accompanying the worldly life does not touch them even in dream.
Hari Om. I think we can stop over here. Yes. Any takeaways, any point, anything has attracted to anyone?
The Sthita Prajna, that 631 to 633 reminded me of Sthita Prajna Lakshanas and yeah. And verse 635 reminded me of chapter 6, verse 29. What is that? Sarva Bhutas Bhutastamatmanam Sarva Bhutani Jatmani. That one, yeah.
Yes, correct. Same verse, like yesterday you mentioned in Kaivalya Upanishad. And who mentioned? I think Radhakrishnan ji mentioned yesterday, Kaivalya Upanishad. Same thing has come today in a different way. Beautiful, beautiful. This is what we feel. No? We feel many times when we interact with the saints, they come to our level and they laugh, they eat, they walk with us, and we feel they are like us. And we do not know even a iota of it, but at what level they are revealing. So they may walk, talk, eat like us, they will laugh with us, but they are not attached to us or anything that we are offering. They'll say everything is nice only. But if somebody gives us a small gift, we like it or we don't like it. If we like it, the frequency of we use. If we don't like it, our reaction to it. So we dwell on like and dislike with our experiences that we gather. And we apply that same ruler measure to the Mahatmas that we interact when we are lucky enough to interact with them. But they are at a very different plane. This again and again it reveals to us that whether we give them a flower or a water, it doesn't for them. It is not for them. It is for our shuddhi, that how much we can offer and how much we can give or how much we can do their seva. For them, whether we do or not do, doesn't make a difference at all. So again and again, to revel in satsanga, that's why it's so very important, because some small thing, it affects on us when we revel more in satsang. Amazing. Loved all the verses. So I think we'll continue again from here tomorrow. Any other thoughts? Anybody has any verse, any line that has attracted to anybody? Padmaji, you would be able to do the closing prayer, or I should do?
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Hari Om, everyone. Let's meet tomorrow and continue. Sunita ji, you will continue tomorrow, right?